Imagine this. You're standing in the Oval Office, sunlight slicing through heavy curtains, reflecting off polished wood. On the president's desk sits a 7-foot-tall samurai sword, gleaming under the light. No, this isn't a movie prop. It's a real gift from a foreign leader to an American president. And that's just one of the hundreds of bizarre, hilarious, and downright unbelievable things that have been handed to U.S. presidents over the years. From kangaroos and crocodiles to a moon rock and a jar of pickles, the White House has seen gifts so strange, they sound made up. But every single one of them is 100% real. So buckle up, because today we're unlocking the vault of presidential weirdness. These are the 33 weirdest gifts ever given to U.S. presidents. 1. The crocodile in the bathtub. Let's start way back with John Quincy Adams, the 6th President of the United States. One day, Adams received a gift that nearly caused a White House panic: a live alligator. It was sent by none other than the legendary Marquis de Lafayette, the French hero of the American Revolution. Adams had no idea what to do with it. So, for a while, the reptile lived in the White House bathroom, terrifying guests who went in unaware. Just imagine being a visiting diplomat, opening the door, and seeing a pair of glowing eyes staring back from the tub. Talk about presidential hospitality. 2. Lincoln's elephant and kingly trouble. Abraham Lincoln, in the middle of the Civil War, got a letter from the king of Siam, modern-day Thailand. The king offered him a pair of live elephants as a gift of friendship. Lincoln politely declined, saying the American climate wasn't right for elephants. But imagine the sight: giant elephants stomping across the White House lawn. It's wild, but it shows how other nations viewed the American presidency: powerful, mythical, and worth impressing with exotic beasts. 3. A giant wheel of cheese for Andrew Jackson. When Andrew Jackson won the presidency, farmers from New York sent him a massive 1,400-pound wheel of cheese, 4 feet wide. Jackson put it on display in the White House for years before finally serving it at a public reception. The smell, they say, lingered for months. Guests described the entire East Room as a monument to dairy. And fun fact, that's where the modern phrase "the big cheese" supposedly comes from. 4. A pistol from a prisoner for George Washington. The father of the nation once received a gold-encrusted pistol from a French prisoner who'd fought against him. It was a symbol of respect and irony. Imagine a captured enemy gifting the man who defeated him a weapon that could have killed him. That's historical poetry. 5. The panda power move. In 1972, the world was shocked when China gifted President Richard Nixon 2 giant pandas, Ling Ling and Xing Xing, after his historic visit to Beijing. It wasn't just cute diplomacy. Those pandas were a global symbol of China's goodwill and instantly made the National Zoo one of the hottest spots in America. That moment kicked off what the media called panda diplomacy. And yes, the pandas got more press coverage than some cabinet members. 6. Obama's weird iPod. In 2009, Queen Elizabeth II gave Barack Obama an unusual gift: a custom iPod loaded with videos and photos of her reign and speeches she'd given. It was thoughtful, sure, but also slightly awkward, because just months earlier, Obama had gifted her an iPod too, full of American show tunes. Somewhere, there's a royal playlist that probably never got played. 7. Trump's sword and a whole kingdom of gold. When Donald Trump visited Saudi Arabia, King Salman welcomed him with an ornate golden sword, diamond necklaces, and a treasure chest of jewels. The opulence was unreal, straight out of Aladdin. But here's the twist. U.S. law forbids presidents from personally keeping foreign gifts worth more than $415. So all of it? It now belongs to the National Archives. The irony of being given gold and not being able to keep it: presidential problems. 8. Carter's giant peanut. President Jimmy Carter, a proud peanut farmer, was honored in the strangest way imaginable, with a 13-foot-tall peanut statue built in his hometown of Georgia. It wasn't exactly a foreign gift, but it was definitely a presidential one-of-a-kind, with a big toothy grin carved into it. The peanut still stands today, the only smiling legume ever dedicated to a world leader. 9. Nixon's donkey and elephant. Nixon was obsessed with symbolism, so it wasn't surprising when he received a live donkey from Mexican officials as a symbol of the Democratic Party and an elephant from political supporters representing Republicans. Both animals lived temporarily at the National Zoo. Only in Washington could your house guests include the mascots of both major political parties. 10. Reagan Space Rock. Ronald Reagan once got a piece of the moon. Literally. It was a lunar rock gifted by NASA after the Apollo missions, a tiny fragment of cosmic history, placed in the hands of an American president. A reminder that the same country that once sent men to the moon also sent pet alligators to the White House. 11. Teddy Roosevelt's lion and hyena. Theodore Roosevelt, adventurer, hunter, explorer, received gifts perfectly fitting his personality. From African leaders, he was given a lion cub, a hyena, and several rare birds. He sent them all to the National Zoo, saying the White House wasn't designed for safaris. Classic Roosevelt. 12. George V. Bush's goofy cat painting. During his presidency, George W. Bush got a portrait of his cat, India, painted by a child from Japan. The picture was wildly disproportionate, one eye bigger than the other, and a tail longer than its body. Bush loved it. He said it was the most honest art he'd ever seen, proof that sometimes the weirdest gifts come from the heart. 13. Obama's basketball made of alligator skin. During a diplomatic exchange in China, Obama was given a basketball made from alligator skin, something so bizarre. The Secret Service initially thought it was fake, but nope, it was genuine luxury gator leather. Only in politics can a basketball be a status symbol. 14. JFK's Irish turf. When John F. Kennedy visited Ireland, his ancestral homeland, the Irish government gave him a box of sacred Irish soil, or turf, from the Kennedy family's original land. It wasn't weird, but deeply poetic. Kennedy called it the most meaningful gift he ever received. And that turf still rests in the JFK Library today, a piece of Ireland forever tied to an American dream. 15. A stuffed possum for Calvin Coolidge. Silent Cal had a dry sense of humor, but even he couldn't hide a smile when someone gifted him a taxidermied possum dressed in a tuxedo. No one knows why. Maybe it was a joke about his quiet personality, but the stuffed critter earned a permanent spot in White House folklore. 16. Jefferson's mammoth bones. Thomas Jefferson, obsessed with science, once received giant fossilized bones, believed to be from a mammoth. They were actually from a mastodon. Still, Jefferson proudly displayed them, convinced America had once been home to giant beasts. In a way, he was right, just a few thousand years early. 17. Bush Sr.'s surfboard. When Australian Prime Minister Bob Hawke visited George H.W. Bush, he handed him a surfboard decorated with the presidential seal. Bush wasn't exactly a surfer, but the gift was a nod to his coastal home in Maine. It remains one of the coolest and strangest presidential gifts ever. Imagine rolling up to the beach with a surfboard stamped property of the United States. 18. Obama's 500 books from Sarkozy. French President Nicolas Sarkozy once sent Obama a collection of over 500 French books on philosophy and literature. A thoughtful gesture, but maybe a bit much. One aide joked it'll take him 2 terms to finish that. Somewhere in those boxes, there's probably still an unread copy of Les Miserables. 19. Truman's strange diamond clock. In the 1940s, Harry Truman got a diamond-encrusted clock from the Shah of Iran. It was shaped like a sunburst and weighed over 50 pounds. It was too flashy for Truman's taste, so he stored it away, and it now rests in the Smithsonian. Proof that not every royal gesture fits American simplicity. 20. Clinton's custom saxophone. Bill Clinton, famous for playing the sax, got a pure gold saxophone from the city of Prague. It was engraved with his initials, and playable, too. He called it the best campaign gift ever. You could say it hit all the right notes. 21. Biden's crystal eagle. Joe Biden, known for his love of symbolism, received a massive crystal eagle from the Polish government. The wings, hand-carved, symbolize strength and freedom. It's one of the most striking modern gifts to a president, shimmering under White House lights like a frozen flame. 22. Franklin Pierce's sword from Japan. Before Japan was open to Western trade, diplomats gifted Franklin Pierce an intricately crafted samurai sword, symbolizing power and respect. It was so sharp, the Secret Service, then just a security detail, refused to let anyone handle it unsupervised. A literal cutting-edge gift. 23. Grant's tiger from Egypt. Ulysses S. Grant, the Civil War hero, received a live tiger cub from the Khedive of Egypt. Grant wisely declined to keep it and sent it to the zoo. Imagine the White House press briefing. Today, the president received a tiger. Now that's what you call exotic diplomacy. 24. Taft's cow. Before refrigerators, President William Howard Taft had a problem: how to get fresh milk in Washington. So a dairy company gifted him a live cow named Pauline Wayne. She grazed on the White House lawn and became a national sensation. She was even referred to as the first cow. No other president has had a dairy staff member since. 25. Johnson's bullwhip. Lyndon B. Johnson, known for his cowboy swagger, once got a handcrafted bullwhip from Texas ranchers. He reportedly cracked it once in the Oval Office, just for fun, and nearly broke a vase. Classic LBJ energy. 26. Eisenhower's samurai armor. In post-war Japan, Dwight D. Eisenhower received a full samurai armor set, symbolic of peace and respect. He displayed it in the White House East Room, calling it a tribute to courage and tradition. That's diplomacy, samurai style. 27. Hoover's live opossum. Yes, it happened again. Herbert Hoover was gifted a live opossum, which his children briefly kept as a pet. Its name? Billy Possum. He didn't last long at the White House, but he did make the papers. 28. Kennedy's Irish Wolfhound. JFK's love for animals showed when Irish officials gave him a massive Irish wolfhound named Shannon. The dog became a celebrity overnight, photographed alongside the Kennedy children. Even world leaders couldn't resist a good pup. 29. Obama's beer from Ireland. When Obama visited Ireland, he got a custom beer brewed in his honor called Obama Stout. It was brewed using his family's ancestral Irish roots as inspiration. The president laughed and said, "That's one I'll definitely drink." 30. Trump's $6,000 gold-plated golf driver. The Japanese prime minister gifted Trump a gold-plated golf driver worth over $6,000. Trump reportedly called it beautiful craftsmanship, then joked, "I'll try not to use it as a weapon in trade talks." 31. Bush's crystal cowboy hat. George W. Bush got a life-sized crystal cowboy hat from the Czech Republic, glittering, heavy, and completely unwearable. It's now stored with other too fancy to use presidential relics. Still, it perfectly captured his Texas roots in Swarovski style. 32. Roosevelt's secret jewel. Franklin D. Roosevelt once received a mysterious gem-studded dagger from the Saudi royal family, its hilt carved from ivory. No one knew what it symbolized. Some said protection, others said power. But Roosevelt kept it close, a silent reminder of alliances forged in desert sands. 33. Lincoln's ghostly gift. Our final story isn't officially documented, but whispered in old White House lore. According to staff records, after Lincoln's assassination, a sealed wooden box arrived at the White House. No sender, no note. Inside, a single lock of hair, tied with a black ribbon, and a note reading only, "Forever remembered." It was never traced. Some say it came from one of his soldiers. Others say it came from Mary Todd herself. Either way, it's the eeriest gift in presidential history. The White House may be a place of power and politics, but behind those marble halls lies a treasure chest of unbelievable stories. From crocodiles in bathtubs to moon rocks and tigers, every gift tells a tale of friendship, diplomacy, and sometimes pure weirdness. If you love discovering these secrets, make sure to subscribe, because what's coming next will blow your mind.